Aha! And welcome to this week's special edition of Pro Synth Network with me, your guest host, Jason "The Get" Jervis. How is everybody today on this Friday? Hopefully good. Well, this is a new system for me, so I'm hoping I can remember to do all the right things at the right time. So, first things first, can you hear me? Can you see me? Hopefully that's all good. I've lost track of the chat, but that's fine. Okay, so don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you don't already do so to this channel, which I'm sure you all do. If you're watching this post, of course, give it a like, share again. And of course, we do have lots of other fun stuff to share with you as well. There's lots of merchandise, which I haven't got prepared to show you, but you know what they look like. So do follow us on Patreon as well. So let me just bring in our usual suspects and do a quite quick and easy sort of insert. So who have we got first? We have got none other than Mr. Andrew Longhurst. How do I do this? Press this button? No, it's everybody.
How about that one? That one?
That one.
That one? And shall we get rid of let's just get
shall
rid
we?
of that. There we go.
It's like a child with all the toys.
It's like, it could be me. It could be me presenting. Only nothing's gone disastrously wrong so far. I'm good. It's good to be here.
Good.
It's great to have a guest presenter. It takes all of the shite off of me, which is great. It's
Well, I'm
really,
glad to hear
really
that.
good. And it's good to have you here, Jason. Really,
Thank you.
really good.
It's good to
Did
be
you
here.
want to say hello to young Kenty Poos?
I think we need to say hello to young Kenty.
Here
Should
we
we bring him
go.
up? Yay! Hello, Kent.
Bonsoir.
How you doing?
Yes.
Bonsoir.
Yeah. No, for a minute I thought you were Robbie and you were wearing a tie. I thought you had a court appearance.
Well, who's to say he hasn't?
Ah, that's probably where he is.
That's pretty. Shh. You said you'd keep that quiet.
yeah,
Start the rumours now.
NDA time. Yes. Oh, good.
Brilliant. Excellent. Excellent. Great. So we've got to find the right.
Let's just. There we go.
Let's do that. Bring the chaos. Absolutely bring the chaos. Get Jervis in the house. Anyway, should you have a quick say hi to some people in the chat? So you got Cresshead there. Hey, Cressy. Steve, Sonus Lucis, who's actually helping me sideways as well. Billy Bud, good to see you. Jack, Azio Head, Paul Holmes, the Wookiee. And, of course, our own Andrew Brooks, who is our resident spanner. So do remember, here's a button. There's a button for this, isn't there? Where is it? Where's the button? So if you have a question, preface it with it. I did something right.
You did.
I pressed the right button, not all at once, not one after the other, not knowing what I was going to do next. So, yes, so please put a cue at the beginning of your question so that we can pick it up and he can ram it at us and we'll hopefully have a chance of being able to answer it for you. So let's just take that off. And what do we... It's fancy, isn't it? It's really... I'm not used to this kind of like level of technology. But it's good. Hey, Jim, and Kissing the Machine, and I met you. I did. At Synth East. So, shall we hit our first bit of news? It's a bit of a heavy one, isn't it, really?
More somber. No. So, shall I bring it up, or would you like to?
Yeah, please do. Yeah.
Here we go. This actually broke the week before last, just before the show, actually. But we kind of missed it along the way, which was, for which we apologise. But here we go. Yeah.
So there he is, Seiki Kato, the guy himself who I've read. That's quite a nice sort of bit of history about him, really. So he's been in Korg since 1980. Was part of the sort of Korg USA before being president of the whole damn thing. So he's kind of responsible, I guess, for all the good stuff they've been doing very recently. So let's hope that his leg and forge the company to be what it is. Really.
He did an extraordinary job of turning it all around. Should we go back to sort of a more do for one? Here we go. Yeah, he was responsible largely for turning the company around. He started in Japan, then moved to the States, and then he became the CEO of the whole thing. He's an extraordinary influence on the company, and via that the rest of the world. Kent, did you ever meet him, know him, speak to him, have him round for tea?
No, but I did hear that he was one of the driving forces behind the Korg Oasis happening. And for that, I'm internally grateful to him.
Yeah.
That was a stonker of a keyboard. It really was.
One of your favourites. I know you mention it often. You mention it often.
Yeah.
And it's a sad loss. We seem to be losing so many.
He was young as well, 67. I mean, that's...
Yeah. That's me in May.
Apparently battling with illness, so keep up the exercise, guys. Keep eating healthily. So, Billy Bud's asking who's Robbie. You got a question straight away. Yeah. Well, who is Robbie? Do you want to answer that, Kent?
Oh, talk about an enigma wrapped up in a dichotomy. Who he is, I don't know. I've never met him. Where he is, I also don't know. He's probably in court.
He is. He's the inventor of the DX7, isn't he?
Well, yeah. What was that? Or the doorbell? It was one or the other. Which one was it?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's one of them.
Good. Robbie is basically Pro Synth Network, isn't he? Let's face it. He's the man, the myth, the legend that keeps this all together. Yeah. We are his minions.
He is.
Oh, yeah.
He is.
Yeah, definitely.
He is, and he's done a fantastic job building the community.
Yeah.
And hang on, we've gone from a tribute to the president of Korg, and we're now going into singing Robbie's praises. Just so you're clear, Robbie's alive. He's fine. He's fine. Let's just do that. It is, drawing a line under it, it's a real shame to lose Seiko Kato, a really deeply influential person. We're going to move on from that now. So, yes, Robbie is away. What is he doing? Tell me, Kent.
He's a Darkness concert, isn't he?
Yeah, he's off to see a rock band. Band without DX7.
Gone to see the Darkness. I don't know why, because I look out the window, I can see it.
Right.
Oh, Nick House has just asked, what is everyone's feeling about Korg releasing almost everything they do in hardware in VST form and it being literally identical? Ooh. What do I feel about that?
Why don't you go first, Kent?
Yeah.
I have no problem with that whatsoever.
Mm.
None whatsoever. As long as it's identical. As,
yeah. I mean, case in point.
Let's face it. Technically, keyboards that come out now are VSTs just in a box.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So, some people don't want to have the box, haven't got the room.
Yeah.
They can have it as a virtually thing sitting in their little computers on the desks. Yeah, why not? Cool. Good move.
And more importantly, for many people, it's the whole idea that the hardware is about hardware control, having control of immediate control of the knobs. That's why I like hardware. But it also allows you to go off and do something and disappear.
Yeah.
What? Having the VST means that you have the opportunity to also use it if you're touring or live or in the studio and just need another something. So it's a great idea. It's a great idea having both. Yeah. I wish the only thing I would wish is that the VSTs were free to people that have bought the hardware, and I don't know if they are. I think there's a discount. Does anyone have any idea on that?
No idea.
No. Again,
I know I've got a VST with the M8X.
So, shall we have a look now that you've got the cat? Shall we have a look at something that's doing exactly this? A Korg thing that's doing exactly this?
Oh, no.
Should we?
Yes, do that.
Okie dokie. So this is a little bit of news which you've doubtless all seen. Feel free to take over, young Jason. Here we go. So I'm going to share this, and here it is.
Oh, the multi-poly. What a delightful little thing that is. So if you're going to move it up and down,
where would you like it to be?
Oh, I don't know. A bit lower, so we can see the screen, I think. So yeah, so this is the multi-poly, right? And this is they've just released the rack version of this, isn't it? So, oh god, I'm sorry, the cats are destroying the studio. Right. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. So, is this is the software aspect of it available? Right. Sorry, I'm going to get Jackson away from my screen because I can't really see what's going on.
So this is the VST plugin, which is now absolutely replicates everything you get on the multi-poly, and it is a bit of a beast. Anyway, the multi-poly, as we all know, is a bit of a beast, but it replicates it absolutely. So as you make changes in the software or in the hardware, they're both reflected in each other, as it were. And it means if you don't want or don't for whatever reason own the hardware, you can just use the software plugin instead. And the really good news is it means you can take advantage, quite aside from anything else, you can take advantage of all the different libraries that are out there. And I believe we've got someone's done a library for this already, haven't they?
Yes, I think we've got this is glasses on. Right. I'm a little bit too far away from me. So do you want to have you got his page up? This is Mark Barnes Sounds. There we go.
I'm just seeing if we've got the video, which we don't appear to have, but I will have a look. So, do you want to bring up the website?
Yeah, the page. I'll do that. I won't. Tom, do you know what they say about children and animals? I'm the child, and these are the animals. Okay, so let's share that. Let's go for. Please bear with us. That's the guy, isn't it? Now, if I play this, can everyone hear that? Mm-hmm. I'm going to sort of fast forward a bit because it's 17 minutes long. That little face.
Should we stop it there? I was
going to say let's. They were all very samey. I'll be honest.
That's certainly opinion. And the thing is that there are a lot of other ones there as well. And Mark, of course, is one of our favourite designer chaps. Let's just. Do you want to go out the screen so we can just see the top of his his website there?
See. So you want me to? Oh yeah. Oh, good lord. Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
Is that what it is? $9.99. Yeah. Oh, I take that back. Crikey. Bargain.
Mark is one of the stars in our group. He not only makes fantastic sound banks, and he does it for all sorts of different people. He's also got some. If you're a Patreon member, he's got some that our Patreon members can download. They're free if you are already signed up to Patreon. And he's done a lot of work with a lot of people and a lot of companies, and knows his stuff. His onions are very much
I think it was my poor flicking around of that beautiful 17 minutes of that just happened to pick pads. So yeah, sounds great. $9.99. You can't go wrong for that, can you? I'm going to cut the cups of coffee. If you've got the synth,
exactly.
Yeah.
Go
Ken, buy it.
Do you were you a fan? I can't remember from when we did the multi-poly rather. Are you a fan of it? Because I loved it.
Yeah, I do. It's still on my I must get that, and then probably not use it very much list that I have of stuff that I'm always wanting and then get and then don't use quite as much as I should do. Yeah, because it had kind of hints of Oasis in it, you know. Which I mean, the Oasis was always good for doing lovely, luscious, evolving and motion pads and stuff like that. And of course, this is a beautiful replacement, considering I sold the Oasis in a moment of madness.
Yeah, he did. And do we know how much it is? I'm just going to have a quick look.
It's $7.99. That kind of
for the plug-in.
Not for the plug-in. The keyboard.
Is it something like 149? Something like that?
I think it is 149. Yeah,
if memory serves.
I think it is. I'm just looking now just to make sure. VST, there we go.
Yeah, I know,
Native
Nick.
plugin.
I sold it, yeah.
Yeah, 149.
These things happen, you know. Bargain.
149.
So if it sounds exactly like the synth, and the synth is, and I plucked 7.99 out of the air, but if it's around that sort of, why would you buy the synth?
If you want to interact.
Yeah, if you want the sound. Yeah,
so if you want to interact, you buy the physical. If you're just after the sounds, plug in.
And the hardware version of it is widely 777, whatever that may mean, £777, dollars, euros, whatever. And if this is 149, I don't know. I didn't actually look. Maybe I should now to see whether or not there was a discount for people that already own it. Can you remember whether or not...
According to Half God here, VST £100 cheaper if you own the hardware.
Wow.
Oh, well, that's a no-brainer, isn't it?
That is a bit of a no-brainer. So
the thing is, do you get if you buy the software first, do you get the £100 back off the keyboard?
No.
I don't think it works that way, does it?
No.
Unfortunately, this is not an ideal planet.
I mean, you can ask.
You can
Will you come mow my
should.
lawn
I think you
instead?
And you can be shown the door just as quickly.
Just get my coat.
So that is the Korg multi-poly native plugin, which is a bit of a beast, and also the sound bank that's been created by the wonderful Mark Barnes. All hail. What a lovely fella. And his is $9.99. This is, if you own it, £49, and if you don't, $149. I mean, you know, it's a great machine. I love it. The one thing I really like about the idea of the VST is you can have your polyphony limit suddenly disappears, as it were. You can start doing all sorts of weird and wonderful things.
Thank you very much, Robert Fat Dust.
Well done. Someone gave us some money. So that's we've covered a subject.
Steady.
Did we do 3? Almost.
We did. We did the Korg, and we paid our tribute to Seiko Kato.
We did.
Seiki Keiko,
and to Robbie.
And yeah, almost tied Robbie in as another thing. What should we look at next? Because there was some news from last week.
There's lots more news, isn't there?
One thing we do need to cover is the glorious raffle that's coming to an end soon.
Yeah.
Did we want to?
Do you want to do that now, or do you want to do a little hard?
We can do a quick thing now if you want, or we can do it
another
later.
quick. I reckon we'll do the IK piano verse. Should we do that? Oops, hello.
We have a video.
Do you have a
we
video?
have a video. So let me. I can see the videos there. Just bear with me. I'm just going to bring up. If you bring up the, there we go, got it. Right. So here is a video. And I think that's enough of that.
Yeah, it's a lot of piano work.
It is a lot of piano work. Tell us more about it, young Jervis. Have you got the link up?
I haven't. Oh, I've got to see. It's the technology. I'm not used to the technology. Let's get used to the technology while doing it. Okay, you ready? See if I can do it. Sure. Can you see that? Can everybody? £69 for an authentic sounding grand piano.
Special introductory price was 99 quid, and it's now down to. So now, go on.
No. You jump in. Go on. I shall leave it there. There we go. So, I mean, like anything else, I mean, a good quality piano is, I think, an essential thing to have in your arsenal. Even if you don't play piano, I think something it can be used for such textures as well as playing pieces of music. He says. But look at that! Look how gorgeous that looks as well. Have you used much of their software, Andrew?
Kent, you're more of a piano library man, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't as taken by this compared to other piano libraries I have. However, the other piano libraries I have are significantly far more expensive than this is. So, for somebody who wants to get for all argument's sake, an authentic piano sound, this is probably the way to go. Because there are certain pianos in Pianoverse that are and from other manufacturers as well, which are they got what's the word? They're more dramatic in their velocity responses than this one is. So I think
have you tried this one, Ken?
Yeah, I have tried this, and yeah, it's okay, and it really does. It's still value for money, but I think for somebody who wants to just get access to a piano sound on their door or whatever, this is ideal without having to go mental. Because I mean, some of the piano libraries are, 5 or 6 times more expensive than this is. Sometimes more than that even. So yeah, covers the bases.
Yeah, and for $69.
Yeah, exactly.
I did have a quick play. I must confess. The velocity thing, I was able to adjust that so that it felt a little more natural on here. I have to say that once. Go on.
When you get a piano library, you're not supposed to have to adjust anything.
I'm not sure I agree.
On a piano library?
On a piano library, depends what keyboard you're playing it with.
Well, I was playing it with M8X, and it was.
As was I, and I had to make a bit of an adjustment.
And technically, if you're using a hammer action, you shouldn't have to be doing any adjustment.
But putting that to
But
one
that's
side,
where the
because
price comes in.
putting that
you know,
yeah, for sure.
to one side a little, the actual sounds, I love the C7. And in all the presets that they've got there's some beautiful, beautiful presets. I wasn't particularly taken with all the washes and things, but that's part of the piano verse, is it? Isn't it? The Mars things and all that kind of stuff. But the pianos themselves, the presets with just some verb on them, were pretty lovely, pretty usable, I have to say. And they sit in a mix very, very, very comfortably. Do you ever use pianos, Jason?
I mean, I've had some jobs where I've had to have a piano in there. Although, like any instrument or any plug-in that is emulating a real instrument, I think it's how it's played as much as how it sounds that's as important. So, so having someone who can play a piano using a software emulation of a piano, whether it's sample-based or synthesized, I think that's the important aspect of it. So, yeah.
Well, there we go. I kept saying plug-in, which I know is going to make Andrew Brooks vomit. Plug-in.
I think plug-in. Plug-in. Have we got any more plug-ins today? Should we do all the plug-ins now?
I don't know. You tell me.
I think that's another indication of why it's one size fits all library, is because it has patches with lots of washes and different kinds of reverbs and everything like that. Whereas me personally, when you get one of the expensive piano libraries, it doesn't come with washes and effects and presets like that. Mainly because if you want a piano that's going to be, dye its hair, put it in a party dress, I want to pick the dress and I want to pick the colour of the hair. So I don't need presets with the stuff already on, because 9 times out of 10 you go, yeah, but that's not the reverb I want to use, or that's not the chorus or whatever. So they tend to have it flat and you do the messing around rather than it be presented to you ready on a plate. Yeah.
Well, I think that's, for my money, some of the more out there kind of combinations of sound. Arturia's Augmented series are quite out there, but they're also a good blend. So you've got that the ability to sort of mix your raw, authentic sound with synthesized sounds and all sort of kind of crazy stuff. So you take it to the moon and back, really.
Yeah.
So that's a different side of things, obviously, than stacking a string sound next to a synth sound underneath the piano.
Here's a thought. I remember when I was a very young man, back when dinosaurs were still roaming the earth, that one of the things which I looked for, one of the reasons I loved the emulator too, was because it came with pianos and strings, and then a piano and string preset. And I loved that. And that was wow, piano and strings. Now, I just want to shoot anyone that plays piano and strings. It's just one of those things. Yeah. Give me the piano, I'll do the strings separately, because it just feels odd. It just feels odd.
Yeah.
But that said, this is a really good. It is actually a really good piano at 69 quid. Fill your boots.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
A great emulation or sample-based library in a VST and or other formats, and not a plugin.
Yeah.
No,
a plugin, a complete plugin. Yeah. So yeah,
poor Andrew.
That's
plugin.
But there we go. So,
so we've made half an hour.
We've made half an hour. Should we do some hardware? Should we do some hardware news, or should we do? Actually, should we do the BMF at? Should we do it now?
Do the BMF now.
Do it now. A break from from products. Okay.
Hang about.
Oh, are you
doing it?
I got hands off. I don't know.
Righty ho.
How many chefs does it take to mess up a live stream? All of us. All
not that many.
And I need to unshare that, don't I?
There you go.
Right. BMF for the win. Come on. So,
would you like to take this, Jervis, or would you like Kent to take it, or would you like me to take it?
Anyone jump in? Anyone jump in?
Go for it, Andrew. You know this. Go for it.
Scheiße. So,
See,
thank you very much. You will recall, dear viewers, that in a previous show, and not one that I screwed up, I believe, but I can't remember, which is very few. We had the wonderful Marcus Ryle on, who was one of the people that signed the back of this wonderful beastie, a Matrix 12, which the Bob Moog Foundation is raffling off at the moment. This is a brilliant synth.
it's huge.
And Marcus, along with Doug Curtis, I'm reading this off the screen, so I'm not going to get it completely wrong. Doug Curtis and others, Michel Dodi, I think it was, actually built this thing. It's, when they were at Oberheim. Thing is, Oberheim, Tom, and all of these guys had a really long history with Bob Moog as well. And Bob supported everything they did. And kind of by way of, payback, as it were, one of the guys, Doug Curtis, who, of Curtis Chips, he created custom chips for these things. And he bought had two of these. And after he sadly passed, his wife, Mary, wasn't quite sure what to do with them. And then some while back, she decided to get them done up and restored. And during the process of doing that, Marcus just said, just out of interest, I think she asked him, what should I do with this? And he said, look, the BMF is having a hard time at the moment, as we all know. And so he restored it, and they've put it up up for raffle. There's only a few days left. I'm trying to think when it finishes. I think it finishes. There we go.
Sunday, isn't it?
March the 10th. March the 10th. It ends on Monday.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is just an absolutely astonishing synthesizer. Ken, would you like to talk a little bit about it?
It's a very, very clever piece of equipment. It produces some really great sounds, and from very little electronics. So yeah, I mean you can put that down to the Curtis ICs of making dual VCOs and dual VCFs on one IC, which was unheard of before this.
And in this case, it's got the most ridiculous modulation matrices.
Yeah.
For the time, it was such a step ahead of where anyone else was.
Yeah, it's pretty much, you can connect pretty much anything in it to anything else that you desire.
And more importantly, I mean, we're going to ask you to buy some tickets. Buy more tickets. If you've got some, buy some more. Buy some for your friends. The reason being, this is all to support the Bob Moog Foundation, as we've often said before, but we'll say it again. Michelle, his daughter, does a wonderful job curating the museum and his memory. And Bob is the beginning of everything we do here now. All of this, all of the synths and things we do really kind of started with him. And there are other people who did synths, but, the Mini Moog came out, and the before that the 3C, and that was the start of everything that we now know. And look at what it's gone on to create. The industries, the sounds, the manufacturers, whole swathes of stuff have been created from it, and it would be an absolute crying shame to lose that. Imagine if they took down Nelson's column, or if they took down, Arlington's cemetery or something. This is a really important. The BMF is a really important foundation, and they have been struggling. So I would encourage you to get involved, buy a ticket, or 3, or 8, or 40, and help them stay alive this year, because we need that legacy to be saved.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely. I think that's well said. Couldn't have said it better myself. So yeah, put your hands in your pockets and buy some tickets.
Have you any skin in the game with this? Have you ever used one? Do you like them? Have you ever seen one, Jason?
I've seen one, Tom Carpenter's place. Not turned it on, not heard it. So never played one in the flesh. Not enough time with ancient Oberheims. I've played an OB8, OBX8, OBX, or is it an 8? Well, anyway, so I played with a big analog beast, but prior to the Matrix 12, so it was either, and of course it was the first synthesizer the Queen used on the game.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was. Yeah. So I've always loved the sound of the Oberheim, and I think that was one of the reasons why I've often coveted Oberheim, above all polysynths, really. But never really. I'm not a keyboard player. I'm a guitar player that twiddles with knobs. So my sort of love of synthesis tends to be quite either modular or kind of monophonic. And there's space is a thing as well, isn't it? I mean, love a Polybrute 12 would be good.
Talking of space, Ken, just have a look at your studio. Have you actually rebuilt it now? I want to zoom in. What's going on? What have you got in there? How's it working for you?
Yeah, it's getting there. There's still teething problems.
Such as?
Well, for instance, the MAX does not appear in my door.
Well, that's because it's up against the wall.
No, it just doesn't. No.
He's behind you.
No, it doesn't appear in my door, and I've tried everything, and it still doesn't appear, and I don't know why.
Yeah, that's interesting.
USB cables and all sorts of stuff, and it's going, no. So.
But it's looking clearer and cleaner. Are you going to keep it that tidy, or are you going to have it piled up with junk again in 3 weeks?
There might be a string synth there next week.
Oh, any particular one?
Logan String Melody 2.
Off.
With a stone phaser.
Oh, love the stone phaser.
Yeah. For
classic sounds.
Something I'm contemplating on doing. So, and if I go ahead with it, then the string synth will suddenly appear.
Oh, we've still got a little time. So Jason, I mean, we've just had a quick tour around. Well, we haven't had a tour, but we've seen what young Kent has done with his stuff. Tell us a little about yours. Now we're here. I mean, we've been with you before, but some people may not have seen that. Give us a quick tour, as it were.
What shall I do? I'll pick out some highlights, things that you perhaps can't see. I've got a oh crikey, what have we got here? So Delta Sep A, which is so out of the way there. That's a beautiful modern synth. Next to my favourite vintage analog, CS15, which is something that I never tire of. Yeah. Of all the analog vintage stuff I've owned that thing. Yeah, that's always been there. I've got a Pro 1 in a cupboard, and I love sequential stuff. I've got a Prophet 6. I had a Prophet 600, which was great, and that was staple for many years. But I got rid of that and swapped it and changed it, and realised mono was my thing. What else have we got? Micro Freak, Mini Freak, Fusebox X, some Poly N stuff, modular, Sub 37. Bit dirty, but nice.
Love the Sub 37.
Yeah.
So modular's more your thing, isn't it?
I think so. I think I like. I'm a little bit late to the party with it, really, because I saw it launch, and obviously being Bristol based. I mean, Dopefer was distributed from EMIS in Mangotsfield, which is the other side of Bristol. So going into that shop and seeing all the vintage synths that he had, and then seeing this bright silver case filled with weird and wonderful, nonsensical machine boxes that at the time I was like, what's this? But that was 1990, 97, 98? It's taken me until the last 3 years to actually do something about it. 3 or 4 years. So, I'm enjoying it. But I'm taking my time with it. I think that's something that a lot of people who get into modular don't do, is they just dive headlong in. They buy this module, and this module, and then seem to get into this habitual sort of cycle of buying and selling stuff almost weeks later. So there's a very thriving second-hand market for modules.
I was talking to Andy Brooks about this. At some point, we are going to get together and do a little series about modular, and maybe we should involve you as well. In fact, that would be a really, really good idea.
Yeah, definitely.
And one of the things which my observation on it was, I wouldn't know. I'm pretty good with synthesis. I know how they work. I could plug some stuff across. I'd know how to, but I wouldn't know where to start and which ones to buy or any of that. I mean, I'm just completely at sea with that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't know where to. I'd want to have something that was already built, as it were.
Yeah.
And can you see where this might be leading in terms of a link?
Oh, can I? No.
Okay. Shall I play a video?
Please play a video.
And this is because, guess what we actually saw for the first time in the last week.
Oh, I see.
And you've mentioned them already, Tom. Tom Carpenter. Shall we play it?
Yeah, I think we need to. Glorious. Absolutely glorious.
Well, you're a modular man. Tell us what you think.
Well, it's more than modular, isn't it? Because it's not. It is, but it isn't. It's Pen Matrix. I mean, it's homage to ARP 2500, but it's not a replica of any sort of station. It's still Tom's unique set of analog components thrown into this gorgeous case, with a nod and a wink to the ARP 2500. I mean, you know, what living room doesn't need that?
Would you if you were able to, would you have one?
Bloody hell, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, coming home to that, I mean, I just, you know, wouldn't eat. You know what I mean? Right, sorry, feed for yourself. I'm just, wow, what? I've gone. Pull me back. No, you know. Yeah. there was I had the fuse box on a stream a little while ago, and Tom was in the chat, and Tom asked the question, what synth should he loan me next? Because that's a loaner, the fuse box. And somebody said the Colossus. I suddenly thought, what about the TC5000? What if he turns up, with that? I'd have to lose my dining room, quite honestly. But that wouldn't be bad. That wouldn't be a problem.
As if you need to eat.
As if you need to eat. Overrated food. When you've got synthesis, it feeds the soul.
Would you give this house room? Of course you wouldn't.
Yeah. Although, I've worked rather intimately with a real up 2500, and I think there's room for both, to be honest, because I think the TC500 5000 is different enough from a up 2500 that they could coexist together as two separate machines without treading on each other's toes, essentially. So I mean, it's going to be a few quid.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Well, it has to be because it's built here. If it
you mean in the UK?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, although personally, I think Tom needs to wind his neck in because he's not going to leave me anything to bloody design by the time I get there. He would have done it all.
He's pipped you to the post every time.
Yeah, I mean, and considering me and Fiona built, a ton of stuff for him when, when he was doing, the smaller units, we were building for him. So, we've kind of made a rod for our own back that way, as it transpires. So
I've just been looking at the. Here we go, Dr. Mike. How you doing, mate?
Yeah.
Welcome.
I was just looking in the chat, and whenever this subject's come up since it was first spied by Robbie and Co. and Ty scuttling over to Tom's thing at what was it? Synth East, I think it was.
It was Synth.
And and no one has said nah. It's not made a single. Everyone's just got. I would love to have that. I would get rid of everything else just to have it. I would. It's an astonishing thing. I'd have it in a heartbeat.
Well, here you are. I will show you this then.
Go on.
Where are we? Now, that's,
come on.
And in fairness, that is it was. I think it ended up being valued at £490,000.
Bloody hell!
Yeah, and that's before I'd finished restoring it.
Yeah,
God knows now.
Wow.
And
did you ever get to play the Close Encounters theme on it?
I tell you what.
I know but it is the synth in the movie, right?
I tell you what, I had a go. I must admit.
Yeah.
But like I've said 1,000 times about this thing, the one thing that really, really impressed me was you could send a separate CV to the resonance, separate from the filter sweep. So you could have resonance, even when the filter's wide open. You go, no, you want resonance here. Cool. You don't have to have the sweep at that point to get it. You can have that.
It's not tied to the filter itself.
Yeah. So if you tie that from that CV coming from a sequencer, you have your resonance playing a tune that's got nothing to do with what the filter sweep's doing.
Lovely.
Yeah, that is clever. It's
brilliant little ideas like that.
Oh, there we go. Look, we've got. So for a mere fraction of the price of a 2500.
There you go.
You can get yourself a TC5000. Thanks, Steve. That's excluding shipping and tax. Well, I think Tom delivers it to your house personally in a lab coat with Simon.
I'm not sure.
A lot of
and here's the thing. I've always
get a
wanted
hell
a
of a lot of
2500. I've always wanted one. Lusted after one, always. But I know they're a pain in the ass to keep going and maintain and do whatever. They are. Especially, I mean, look at these sausage fingers. I'd be breaking things all the time. This looks like it's a bit more robust. It's, and I would love this to pieces. I would still have a 2500 any day of the week. But if I had to choose between the two, I think I'd probably at the moment choose this. But because it is so 2500 like, and Tom is just a genius with this stuff.
His oscillators are just something else. Just so raw and visceral. I don't know anything else that sounds like his stuff. You know, it just screams at you. So that in a sideboard, basically, a synth sideboard.
Just to completely piss everybody off. The average price of an ARP 2500 in 2006 was £3,000.
And we all knew about them then, didn't we? 2006.
No bugger.
Not paying that for one. Why wouldn't you buy that? Why wouldn't? Excuse me. Can we get the time machine going, Tom? Sort it out.
There was two for sale. There was two for sale on the Virma auction in 2006. Ben Edwards, Benj, bought one and sent it to me because it wasn't working. And it was a guy in Belgium, I think, bought the other one and sent it to me to get it going as well. So I had two 2500s, and they were like.
So that's where Tom got the idea for the 5000 from.
Quite possibly. Who knows?
One of these days, I'm going to do that. He said.
Well, I think Tom was down here when Hanses was here, and he's probably had a. Oh, hello. So.
Well, I mean, he's done such a lot of good work, paying homage to EMS. It's nice to see him going to another corner of our little vintage world. Do you know what I mean? Rare and interesting and unobtainable. So hats off to him for that. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. God. So we're getting close to the top of the hour, and unfortunately this week we don't have a Synthspirations video.
We don't.
So people out there, people in the camera, all of you, keep them coming. We'd love to know more about what you do, what you're doing with things. In fact, shall we do? I don't know if we can. Let me just find it.
Can you play the video?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If we can play,
let
me just see if I can find the bugger.
A-Division did one,
It's going to be here somewhere. Synthspirations promo. So you did one. I haven't seen it yet. So we're not going to go there then. But let me play you the trailer anyway. Robbie went to great lengths to pull this together, and we love having and seeing your Synthspirations.
We want to know what music inspired you to make music with synthesizers. Be it an album, single, or an entire artist's body of work, we want you to tell us why it inspired you, and given that we're a synth show, which instruments used on that album really made an impact. All you need to do is film yourself talking about your synthspiration for a few minutes, and we'll feature it on the show and discuss it. Send your video clips along with your name or handle to prosynthnetwork@gmail.com using a file sharing service like WeTransfer, and you could feature on a ProSynth Network live show soon.
So there you go. There you go. And as we saw, someone said they'd sent one in. It may be technical issues on this side, and we can't see any of those in there. It's almost certainly us here. But and thank you, by the way, Kissing the Machine, for the 2 minutes of silence. It was a bit longer than that. That was. I was making tea whilst it was playing, so I did go. What can you do? Jason.
Yes.
Lead on, McDuff. Lead on.
Oh. I'm going to throw a spanner in.
Do.
There you go. Stylophone theremin.
Yeah, that's what I bought Fiona for Christmas.
They're fantastic. What a cracking little thing. Anyone else got one of these? Anyone played one of those? Really good fun.
Played an original, but not this. Yeah.
Hang on. What I love about it is, let's be honest, playing anything like that with the aerial is just going to be really complicated. It's an instrument, right? It's not just a synth. It's an instrument. So having this slider means you can get the same sort of sounds, and you got a pitch guide. So it's fantastic, and also very good for cats. It is for my cats, really. But Lee from Debrec turned up with that the other day. We've had a lot of fun with it since.
Well, like I said, Tom, I bought one for Fiona for Christmas. And you know when, parents are sitting there on Christmas Day going, why did we buy them such a noisy gift? This is driving me insane. She was at the other end of the coffee table making the most god-awful racket with this thing. It's like, I'm going upstairs. Good night.
Yeah.
She was all over the shop.
Yeah, it happens. But yeah, what a cracking little thing.
Good giggle.
Just absolutely. I left it on since Wednesday and actually came to, oh no, and it still had juice in it. So that's actually quite pokey. Yeah, I know.
Is it battery? Is it lithium?
It's battery. So you've got double A's because of course it's and you can see that right. So you've got 2 little sachets. So 6 double A's. Now there's a microphone mount as well, but there's no sort of like power adapter option for this at all. I don't know why, but ultimately I think if you bought the MyVolts rip cord and the batteries, they do like dummy batteries. I've done it to these guys, and you can create a powered stylophone option. So this will work off a power bank, which is great. So I can take that out. Although I've actually modified it to work with my modular, so it's no longer a stylophone really. But there we go. So
it's a modular phone.
It's a modular phone. Yeah. So the little stylus doesn't do anything. So having something that's is lots of fun. So yeah, there we go. That's my a recorder, a violin, and a theremin for the kids for Christmas. Yeah. There we go. I think that's the way forward, isn't it? Kissing the machine. But that was a segue that wasn't planned. Imagine
it
that.
Was.
But talking about planned things, shall we talk about a bloke, a mini log, and an oil tank?
Do you know, we should, because we're at that kind of time where we would normally do a Sins. So why don't we?
This is inspirational.
Find it.
Synth-spirational, if you will.
Which one is it? I know it's here.
Can you? I've got it on the link.
Called Minilog.
Tom Isaacs. Tom Isaacs. It is.
Tom Isaacs. Yeah, I'm just seeing if the videos. There it is. Gotcha.
It is. It's on the media assets. Yeah.
So here's a little something. We might just let this play. It's not that long.
I think we should.
It's not that short, but it's an astonishing thing. Here we go.
almost sort of religious, isn't it? You know, kind of like I feel like I've had a sound bath. That's what I feel like right now.
It reminds me that years ago and still now, from time to time, I still like putting microphones up and amplifiers and then remote speakers, you know, whatever, and then just finding an acoustic space to do things in.
Yeah.
And use that acoustic space. I've done it with lift shafts at my offices and studios. I've done it all over the place. Yeah. So you get those things, but that is just astonishing.
It's bonkers. I love it.
I was just thinking, last year there was a concert, wasn't there, somewhere in I think it was in either Wiltshire or Berkshire, at some sort of tanks that were used, concrete tanks that were used. Do you remember that, Kent? Some concrete tanks. There was a concert being held one evening where synths were being played in this thing, which was massively, massively reflective. And they did the whole concert without effects, just using the sound of the tank. This is like that, only, you know, it's just glorious. It's glorious what you can do. Do you know, I don't know.
That would be
really while I was watching the video, I was thinking, why didn't they bring down some impulse response equipment and record this, and then we can have the plug-in?
Yeah.
The reverb plug-in of it. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think those... I wonder if the musician involved there, is it Elliot is his name? Tom Isaacs. If he actually found the resonant frequency to start with of the... I mean, obviously it's a huge tube, but rather than creating all those kind of complex, conflicting sound waves, would you start... this is probably what I would do. I would try and find the resonant frequency of that space and work from there to try and create some dissonance and interesting sort of rhythmic complexity with that space. But, you know, interesting to find that, because he didn't mention anything like that when he was saying, look at the space, listen to this, it sounds good. You know, it's like, I would want, I suppose, a bit more depth of understanding of what his initial thought process was about doing this, you know. But there we go.
Well, imagine if Vangelis knew about that tank, he would have dragged an 80 down there years ago.
Oh yeah,
he would have recorded Blade Runner in there.
I definitely think so. Yeah, because it has that kind of metallic tonality that you don't get from you know, from anything other than a real space. You know, and depending on the space is how that reflects back, isn't it? You know, so big fan of natural spaces, and I used a gymnasium and actually one of Tom's synths, which one was it? The Impulse Command, and I played the space as much as I played the synth. And I think that's the only thing you can do by taking a synth out into the wild, which we don't, do we? We're all studio bound. So actually, everyone this week, your homework is to take your synth out into the wild and find a space and do some recording. There you go. Homework has been set.
Well, I'm not dragging that anywhere.
Yeah, I'm not dragging that anywhere, are you?
Yeah, no, that's no better. All the PB12 for that, man.
That already could take. And of course, then there's.
Oh, there you go.
Also portable.
Yes. This.
Alive-o.
It occurs to me, so just because this is, you know, so many of us rely upon some sort of delay or reverb for certainly the more ambient stuff, to give that final bit to like the CS80. It's an okay synth. It's a lovely synth. But when you start sticking it through a bloody lexicon and something, then it just comes alive. That's the sound you're after. That's two staggering reverb. Yeah. There's some brilliant places. There's also in Luxor, there's some underground chambers, catacombs, which also have an extraordinary reverb. What I was going to say was, a lot of you won't know this, but this is just between us, right? I used to work at Emu. I know no one knows this. No. Thank you so much. When we created the RFX chip for the E4 sampler, the guy, I think it was, what's his name? Hogue, Steve Hogue. He was doing the guy doing the coding for the effects. Before it was ready for release, he was coming up with all sorts of things, all sorts of different sounds. And for one of the exhibitions we were at, we were showing this off at NAMM, believe it or not. Yeah. And we had Lexicon there with their their 960, and we had this $500 RFX chip, and he'd written a reverb which I think I've still got somewhere for the RFX, an algorithm which essentially was almost completely lossless. If you set everything to open, it was almost completely lossless, but it didn't colour the sound at all. And that reminds me of this. So, you could put something in, you could put a piano note, a snare drum, and a kick drum or whatever, and you still hear all the tonality. 5 minutes later, it will still all be there. So, yeah, an extraordinary thing. And I love that space. I love the idea of doing stuff in spaces like that. Okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Yeah, all day long. Yeah. But, I mean, the good thing about things like that, there's huge oil tanks, is they don't break down. No, Van Kellis told me when he was making China, he had the Lexicon 244. It broke down 16 times.
Really?
It had to be repaired. Yeah, it was always packing up.
Wow.
When the 480 XL came out, he couldn't get it quick enough. It's the 244 was just falling over every 2 or 3 days. Something to go on.
That's extraordinary. I never remember a 244 failing for any of the sessions I did.
Well, he's probably had the first couple off the shelf kind of thing. You know what I mean? So you know what the first lot are like. So
I mean, it was a huge bit of kit as well, wasn't it? I mean, the rack
big lump.
I mean, that's a huge lump of steel. So I guess perhaps in the days when they didn't think to put fans and the cooling, fins and all that kind of business, maybe
that's what's so fantastic now about these plugins. Sorry, Andy.
Plugins. I love plugins.
Yeah, but plugins are plugins. Right,
Actually,
you plug them in, and they plug in. Yeah, that's what they do. But
actually,
have all these reverbs at your fingertips like that. It's wonderful. But I saw Matt said in the chat. He said he understands that some impulse responses were taken.
Oh, good.
Cool.
Good.
Can we investigate? Can someone investigate and find out if there are links to that, or we can buy them? That would be really good.
Imagine.
Yeah, that is a nice one. It is a nice one.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't want that kind of tubular sound?
Reminded me, curiously, of the original Rev 1, the Yamaha Yamaha reverb.
Oh, Yamaha. Oh,
a very similar kind of. Yeah. What was that about?
I thought you meant Profit. It's like,
No.
The Rev 1. Don't do that to him.
A hot sweat for a minute.
Brilliant.
So we've still got some things to get through. That was a lovely.
Lots of things. Should we do another plug-in?
Plug-in. Would you like a MIDI controller?
Oh, go on.
Go on. You do the MIDI controller then, and I'll do the plug-in. Go on. Show us.
Well, this might be something which you'd like as well. Here we go. So, did you want to hear more?
Go on. No, I mean, they're boxes that glue together by magnets and witchcraft.
Essentially, yeah. Essentially, that's exactly what they do. You can buy numbers of them. There are connectors that you can add to the size of things, so you can start building up racks of 6 and racks of however many you want, really. And it gives you all of these controllers. You like a controller, Jason. What's your thoughts on this?
I don't know if I do like a controller. I've had a love-hate relationship with controllers because I suppose having gone from hardware synths into computer and sold a bunch of computer systems back in the noughties. Did I tell you I used to work in a music shop? So Copyright stamp. There it is. I used to work at Sound Control. But yeah, I sold a load of systems, and of course, back then in the noughties, everyone was buying software and there was a certain amount of hardware, analog sort of modelled synths for sure. But everybody wanted their key, their sort of to be able to access the software through hardware. So I guess this is 25 years later, it's still the idea, but I think things have come on significantly from those horrendous days 25 years ago. So I don't know, it's interesting. I mean, it looks really straightforward, and I guess being able to assign anything to anywhere and have it perform, that's what we want, isn't it? It's simplicity. If it's easy, it'll work, and it looks quite straightforward.
I don't know how much they are, or I'm just trying to find out. Let's just go back a bit.
See if hazard a guess of what would I pay for Amazon? Available at Amazon.
Yeah,
that's not a great thing to have on your website, is it?
Well, maybe it is. No.
Click here to order yours from Amazon. So maybe you should just do that. Just go and see if
maybe that's what I'll do. Click here to order yours from Amazon.
There you go. Oh, and it's not available.
Well, that's money saved.
Hang on a minute. Let's bring this on. We've been had. That's the April Fool's edition.
So I'm not sure if that's due to come out or not. I'm going to have another quick look just so I can see what's going on.
Yeah, do forage.
Here. Have a think about this, because it's not the first modular block, connecting blocks together thing to come out, is it?
Steinberg did a bunch of stuff, didn't it, as well for Cubase, which a little while ago now.
CNC stuff. I've got them, but they dropped the support.
They did, which is stupid because they worked really well. I mean, Gaz used to use them, so I know from him how successful they were. I think even Dom Cigalis is a big fan of them as well. So
yeah, I was. I actually really got a lot of work done with them, and then they go, "Oh no, we're not going to do drivers for it anymore. Bye bye."
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, isn't it? I think
so. The only thing I can see a price for at the moment, I don't know if these are due to come out. I'm just having. Let me share the screen again. So
yeah, let's do that. So let's do some foraging.
So here we go. Let's just give it prominence.
As circuit.
So
circuit tracks.
It's an open source synthesizer. That's not what we're looking at. What we're looking at is this Modulux.
The Modulux. Raspi Audio. I think there's an O at the end. Audio. Raspi Audio. Audio.
So I'm assuming they are due to come out. Otherwise, it wouldn't be here. But it doesn't really say.
On Kickstarter? There doesn't seem to be a link to Kickstarter there, does there? Which you might expect if it was going to be,
Discover the community. So maybe it's the fact that it is open source and you can build it yourself. I don't know. This is where we're missing Robbie's compendious brain and knowledge.
Yeah. How does it work?
Tell us.
Indeed.
So, shall we just...
Well, there was something incredibly similar to that that was already available. In fact, I've got them.
Have you? What
little aluminium boxes, and they click together via magnets. You don't need to have this connector thingy to do 2 rows. They all connect into each other no matter which configuration you put them in.
Top,
there was
bottom,
buttons,
left, right.
knob, sliders, you name it.
Faders. We looked at this only a few weeks ago.
Is that them little bits? I don't know if it is the little bits, is it?
I don't think it was the little bits.
No, I don't think it. Roly blocks.
No. It wasn't Roly blocks.
Not Roly blocks.
I'm trying to. You know what? I know they're in a bag in the cupboard there somewhere. Where I've gone. No,
So-
I'm fed up with this.
Don't tell me they lost support as well.
Well, no, I think the support is still going, but the control, like you say, those Steinberg controllers, that was the best.
Yeah.
That was the best,
Yeah.
and they couldn't drop support for them.
It's just bizarre, isn't it? Just bizarre how you can make something that works so well and then
And
leave
just dump it. Yeah.
dump it with the roadside like.
But I've had this conversation with
disused
Ty. He has
mattress.
a thing called the Nuage, which is a massive controller desk
Yeah.
for Nuendo. And,
Oh, God.
you know, the new software comes out and you go, well, yeah, just hope. You don't know. The next update, suddenly there may not be support anymore. And they just drop it like that.
No.
Regardless of the
really
fact it costs
insane.
the price of a bloody Audi R8.
So, young Jason, would you like to pick something that is going to be useful? That's going to have some
Yeah.
information that we can
Let's-
talk about? Let's have a look.
let's-
What would you like?
Let's do that one.
Star.
Das ist meine Nymphus. So, Nymphus, editor and librarian, third party. Let's just get it in the right place. So get it up, and it's. Oh, hang on. Let's present the slickness, mucho slickness. What? There we go. Check it out. Am I sharing it now? Is it live?
Yep.
You are sharing it.
Yay!
20
I've
bucks.
aced 20 quid. Anyone and everyone who owns an Nymphus needs to buy this. Enough said, really. I mean, it's... There you go, 20 quid. Before you purchase our activation code, first download and install the blue and pink synth editor. I mean, I love my... my mouse is being a bit temperamental. I love my Nymphus, and it sounds brilliant, but I think, like most people, I do get a little bit flummoxed by its user interface. I love the fact it's small, and that's great, because that's another sort of adorable factor of this synth. It's a huge sounding synth in a something that's it's a little bit larger than a VHS cassette, but it's sometimes perplexing to edit and to fiddle around with. You've got shift functions, you've got a preset control that's rotary, you've got a whole bunch of stuff. So having a wonderful bit of software that lifts the lid off it and allows me to just relax, have fun with the synth, and enjoy the act of playing the sound. I wonder if there's another picture. I think that's the only picture, isn't it? That is it. That is your lot.
There is a video, but it's on YouTube, and it's not in the ones we've
Is it
got
not?
here. So I won't.
I mean,
just in case.
I think
we
this
get
is
a
a-
strike.
Yeah, I think this is it, really. You don't really need to sort of hang around on this. If you've got a Nymphus, buy this. It's kind of that simple, isn't it?
I think the thing to say about it is very, very quick to use the editor, and it reflects everything on. So essentially, it's exposing all of the internals of the Nymphus directly, and for $20, that means you unlock so much, and it makes it really easy to edit. And you can either edit on the Nymphos or using the software. They both work together. Each of them affects the other. And there's something here. If you notice on screen, there's chord. If you click on the chord button, which you'll see in the YouTube video, and I'll put a link to that in just a moment in the chat.
Thank you.
It allows you to set up each of the, is it 6 voices? Mm-hmm. Each of the 6 voices. So you could go into a mono mode or a unison mode, and you can tune each of the voices to a different thing, and you can switch between each of the chords, as it were. It's it sounds amazing, and it works very, very well, but it's just the fact that it exposes all of that from that tiny little box onto your screen.
Azio Head made a comment a minute ago. I won't repeat the comment, but I think a lot of people have found the user interface challenging, and I think this answers that in a good way. So, because it is a tremendous sounding synth, and I love it to to bits. But yeah, it can be frustrating to edit. So definitely, as it's already got a solid USB socket on there, not one of these micro business nonsense, then it's it's an easy one, and it's a win for Dreadbox as well. It really is.
It really is. So I'm going to pop the link into the chat. There we go, to the YouTube video. Go and have a look. Oh, it's someone already done it? No, they haven't. So there it is. There's a link in the chat. Let's just bring us all back up again. So yeah, it's if you've got they're making Dreadbox making such good, such good synths.
Yeah.
So anything that makes it easier.
Yeah, and I think that's the affordable synths. Now, obviously, the Murmux was not affordable. God, that's a good thing for them to have done. I think, to show you the capability of that company. But yeah, the fact that they do sort of inherently sort of stay in the affordable range and push that a little bit as well. I think they're one of my favourite makers out there, I reckon. So yeah.
So, whilst we're talking of such things, is this my... Oh, it's yours. You've got that up there. I was just thinking, whilst we were looking at this, we haven't really touched on hardware that much so far.
No, I think we need to do more plugins, don't we? Andrew was asking at the beginning if we could just do a plugin episode, I think. Was that right?
Yeah, plugins about... We could do a plugin. We could plug plugins.
Plug-ins.
Or emulations or software... things.
So, I mean, wouldn't it be interesting if in this world of us now in this time with drum machines making a resurgence in the hardware, wouldn't it be good if somebody made a software version of a drum machine that you could also buy as a hardware bit? But the software bit would be, much more sort of portable with your laptop or whatever.
It would, but if we're talking about old school, how about if someone invented, let's just say, a synthesizer that used, I don't know, valves? So listen, it's very worthy having a vacuum tube synth. Very worthy.
Definitely.
Love the sound of it. How much?
$2.99.
Well, if it's anything like the last time there was a Valve synth come out, because this rolls around about every 20 years, a Valve synth comes out. So the last ones to come out were roughly about, I'd say, 9 times more expensive than current synthesizers coming out. So this is going to be a few quid. I'll say $3,500.
I'm going to go for
Not
$14.99.
quite, but not a million miles away in terms of population. So this is from the Gear News site, which the lovely Robbie does all of these kinds of columns along with all of his colleagues. And there, right there in the middle, 2199. 2199. So, what do we think?
Look, no, the new bass. I was gonna. Can you scroll back down again? The new bass is the Volca with one of the new tubes, which is one of Korg's miniature vacuum tubes that they slathered in this. And I think it's 130 quid. There you go. Is that all right? Yeah, 129. Actually, 129 euros. 149 euros. But yeah, 125 quid. So that, and then you've got the fusion system. That's going to be even more expensive. But that is probably the most affordable valve synth. Now, I don't know if the synthesis is being made by the tube or whether that's just there to warm up the output. I suspect it's just the output, but I don't know for sure. So if somebody knows, correct me if I am wrong.
You can see the 4 valves. Now, the thing about this, I mean, it's hugely expensive. I'm not sure how many people would have an appetite for this, but if you're someone that is a sound designer and you just want that sound, I guess my question is, you can run external audio through it as well. Go on.
Look, Wagyu, there's no valve synthesis in this synth. It's using digital oscillators. So is it just output stage then? Why are you doing that?
At which point, why don't you just use a digital synth or a synth, any synth, and throw it through a valve amp or through a valve stage somewhere? Ken?
No, I have no idea. Because what was the one that came out in the early 2000s? Was it the Metasonic synth, wasn't it? Valve synth that they had. It was about 1,800 quid, something like that. And of course, the valves aren't available for it anymore. So if they pop, tough poo.
Oh my God. No more stock.
I mean, there are quite a few of these. I mean, the one thing to be said for this is it is polyphonic.
Okay.
Is it?
It is polyphonic, so 4 voices, and it says vacuum tube powered synthesis.
But what does that mean? I mean, tubes can do anything, right? That's the whole point of them.
They're basically transistors.
Yeah.
So
what
is it? That's the power supply.
Let the engineer take the floor.
Yeah.
What do you think they're doing, Ken?
Well, I would imagine they're probably output stage.
That seems to be what it's saying.
Yeah, because if they're not, a part of, an actual part of the synth process, then output stage amplifiers.
Yeah.
Or
so in which
really
case,
over the top power supply. It's one end. It's one end or the other, isn't it?
But yeah, exactly. So
if you take away the vacuum tubes from this, the tubes, what are you left with? A 4 voice or a 4 oscillator synth
in a box,
in a box, and you could go and buy something valvey,
or plug it into your door and put a valve emulator on it. And
does anyone in the chat actually like this? Or not like it, because I do like the sound. I like the sound, but is anyone tempted by this? Anyone at all?
At that price?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, that's the price,
£2,199, which means it's going to be sort of 2,200, 2,300, 2,500 in the States, and probably not too far off in Europe. So the sound is amazing, but imagine if you take any of your synths and just put them through a valve stage somewhere. Would you end up with the same thing?
Or a plug-in?
Yeah.
Or a plug-in, tumbleweed.
Yeah. I mean, you use valvey stuff and pedals and things, Jason.
I do, yeah.
What's your take on not just this, but the idea of using valves for this kind of technology?
Well,
distorting.
I mean, was it the Korg Triton that had a flipping tube, an AX7, 7AX, the 12 AX12 preamp stage in it back in the noughties? The Blue Triton, is that right? Is that what it was? I was trying to sell them, and I don't think I didn't see the point in a synth at that point. So I guess I'm struggling with the same headspace as to why I would think that would be a good idea now. If it was forming some unique part of the actual sound generation, okay, so give me something different. Because otherwise, I don't understand. I would spend, whatever that costs these days, which is very inexpensive. That's pure analog, no digital in that. And I'd get myself not this because these aren't made anymore and they're quite collectible. So, but a Valve preamp or for less than half the price. I would find it difficult. I mean, someone who's obviously worked hard on creating this beautiful sounding, beautiful looking synth. Yeah, I don't know.
There's a lot of
I'd get
chat
a fuse
in
box instead. Yeah.
There's a lot of chat
so
in
lots
the.
Of people Trident Extreme, that's it.
Chatting about the moss boards and the Trident. So
yeah,
it's still. But
no, as far as this is concerned, I mean, I have this unpopular view that I view, every like I say, about every 20 years a synth will come out and it's using valves, and it's just a bloody fad. And it's sold, it's sold in this way where you go, mate, it's snake oil. Don't stop, shut up, go away.
Yeah.
It's just a fad. I mean, just buy a hydrosynth or something. I mean, you can't get better.
Oh, God,
Stop wasting your time with little tinkly bits of glass. What is it, a bleeding Christmas tree? Piss off. It's a fad. It's a fad.
The thing is, I've often used synths through guitar amps. I've got bass amps and guitar amps at the studios, and I will put synths through those because you end up with a really glorious sound. It's different, and it's the frequency isn't the same, and you can overdrive it and do all sorts of stuff, but you end up with a completely unique sound, right?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of wondering why. I'm not sure what this is doing. This. Do you know what we should do, Ken? We should have a word with young Tom and say, do the TC5000 entirely built out of valves. How many houses would you need?
It would be the size of Croydon.
Croydon, that would do.
Yeah. He'd have to buy Croydon to build it on.
Fad gadget, yeah.
Or Greenland. I hear that's up for sale.
Greenland's up for sale, apparently. Or
so
Canada.
I heard.
Canada.
Yeah.
Canada.
Well, they got
Mexico.
bags of room.
There's plenty of space, yeah.
You'd have to go up the hills. It'd be a bit uneven, but maybe flatten all the hills out and it'd be fine.
So, talking of such things, we've touched upon controllers and various other things. Did you, perchance, Jason, get a chance to have a look at the Synso Touchflower 3?
No, I missed that one, actually. I'm looking at that now, and I think, did I? I think, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I did. I did look at it, actually. Because it's sort of, is there a video? Have we got a video for that?
There's a YouTube video, which I will post a link to, because, again, actually, I don't want to get a copyright strike, as someone did recently.
Did they? We've got a link in the media assets, actually.
Finally, I got banned by the BBC. Yes.
And there's no one best to be banned by, is there?
I am banned. Here be raw.
Yeah, definitely.
So
there is a link. There is a video.
I'm just gonna. There is a video, but it's on YouTube. So rather than play it, because that means going through all the things, I'm not sure if we are allowed to.
It's in the assets, actually. Well, it's Robbie's put it in the media assets, so presumably it's okay to play.
Oh, Touchflower, there it is.
Yeah.
Let's pop it up. Here we go.
Yes.
It goes on a bit. I'm just going to pop the video link into the chat. There we go.
Excuse me, what the hell did I just watch?
The sound of flowers growing.
here's the
I
thing.
think this is going to do really well.
I watched this.
Yeah.
I watched the whole video. And it's kind of interesting, but I couldn't quite see the point. There was some articulation from it, but I wasn't quite sure what it's doing. The thing is, it's quite cheap. It's a Chinese modular creator. It's 139 quid. So for modular, I can't really comment on it because it doesn't really sit in my world. What about for you, Jason?
Oh, it's going to do well. It's going to do well because it also captivates that market share that Soma live in. You know, anything Soma, it just evokes a certain response in something because you're using your digits to play something in a very specific kind of way, and it really for some reason they just know how to do it. And I'm having had, various, I had the terror here after Bristronica because I helped out KMR. So I had all the Soma stuff and actually did some video stuff. And my kids were playing it and really getting on with it. I thoroughly enjoyed it because it's not conforming to black and white keys divided into steps. It's more organic. And I think that's where this works. Is it invites you in to play with the sound. It didn't seem, the demo didn't seem very expressive and didn't seem to sort of do much, but I think you could probably do a lot more with it in the real. And it looks a bit like a demigorgon as well.
And Kent, this isn't really in your sort of area either, is it?
No. No. This couldn't be any further away. Because, it was playing 2 or 3 notes now and again, depending on where you stuck your finger.
Well, and here's the thing: I did watch the video, and I was left with I was rather underwhelmed. But now that we've got this site up here, having a look down, it does rather a lot more than the video captured. So there's lots of different menus there's menus you can call up, but available waveforms. Square wave, sine, sawtooth, sine wave with FM noise mixed waveform combinations, a square waved operator combination, water piano sound, sawtooth based water piano sound. Then there's chord menus. So you've got major triads, minor triads, 7 sevenths, 7 minor sevenths, major sevenths, gen sevenths, whatever a gen seventh is, root note menus, touchpads, blah blah blah. There's a lot more going on with this. I just don't think
he wasn't moving his finger around or anything, was he?
He was moving his finger around, but it didn't seem to be having an enormous effect. Maybe it was
so
the thing.
This literally could be a button.
well, actually,
go on.
There you go. Sorry. No, I think Ken's right. I mean, there's always been a lot of various ways of manipulating synths and things. I guess, it's just nice to have something that you can actually touch and engage with in a way that's that's more organic than that's what I'm attracted to in this. Is the last, But I mean, again, there's a comment earlier on about the Soma stuff being way more advanced. I mean, I'm not disputing that at all. But I think what I'm saying is that it would appeal more to that market, I guess.
I guess so. I mean, now I've seen all of that text. I didn't read the text. I just watched the video because I've been a busy boy today. Now I've seen the text. Were I into modular? I mention often the idea of articulation because that's what makes music, an instrument. That's what makes these things instruments, the ability to be able to articulate and do things with it. So this is something which does articulate. I'm not sure about the sound sources particularly Wagyu. The D-beams are better. Yeah. But maybe not. For some people, this might be a good thing. Thing is, it's only 139 quid. I can imagine there'll be quite a few people that will... What's he got now?
Cheaper.
Oh, okay.
There's a shitload more. And you interact with it.
There we go. But it has its own sound. It's a sound generator as well. That isn't. That you have to connect it to something, the Rolly, don't you?
Well, yeah, but that's if it's for modulars, you'd have to connect it to modulars, wouldn't you?
It looked like an independent. It looked like it was self-contained, didn't it?
Yep,
Really?
I didn't look
this,
too
so-
hard at it. I mean, let's just have one more quick look. Hang on, where are we?
So that's all it does.
My mouse is being a bit.
Let's just have.
I mean, it's
a
20.
quick
It's a
look.
20 HP module, but it also looks like it's got its own, powered box, so you don't have to use it inside a modular system. Which I think that's again bringing some of the functionality of modular out into the wild is always a good thing, I think.
So it's saying it doesn't. USB power is not recommended. Standalone mode. There's no MIDI out, so you'd have to go through a rack. So you need to have it as part of a rack. It wouldn't work, particularly well. I mean, it's okay. It's 139 quid.
Bit of fun.
Why not?
It's all right.
Why not?
Have
Where
at
have you
it.
all gone?
Have at it. We're all here.
I can think of 7 or
And
8 reasons.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure you can.
Look, sorry, I don't want to down everything, but bloody hell, what the hell? Come on.
Well, yeah, but I think Jason has a point. For some people, it would be a good toy, and there's nothing wrong with finding different ways to interact with stuff. I just don't think we saw the best of it, and we've seen that often, haven't we, Kent, with videos on the show where people have just really you look at it and go, "What's that about?" Then later, someone does a proper demo.
Well, if it does more than that, I'll change my mind about it. But from what I saw,
we shall delve further and see if there are more reviews of this.
Let's keep our eyes posted on that one. But yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I believe there's one other thing we haven't yet covered.
There's got to be one more thing. He's gone.
Yeah.
We've scared him off. We've absolutely scared Mr. Brooks off. He's gone. He's
Chompy.
no longer with us.
Chompy.
Oh, I thought you were going to go for what was it? The
VPROM?
The VPROM, yeah.
Should we do that? Let's
Toss
see
a
if
coin. Have we got time for both?
Let's just bring up. I was going to bring up the other thing, but
Final thoughts on the
Whilst
Sonic
you're doing
Seed. There we go.
Let's just take
Thanks,
that
Cam.
off. Stop screen. Present. So what do we want? We want. There we go. There we go. Have a look at this.
So you want to know about VPROM 3? Well, I'm not going to brag about this too much. Y'all already knows the shit. First let me tune this thing. Yeah, you can tune the decks now. That's a cool feature, yeah. It's going to bring you fun so much in the stratosphere. Second snare, you got some nice feel of the twig. How much action could you choose from? Make it sound like you want, in fact, fight like your mom. In fact, you can even cut the fat if you want. I was there, now I'm back, y'all. No fake photos of it.
So, that is the Ali James Lab VPROM version 3. So it's a great plugin. A great emulator. It's a really, really good emulator. Amazing sounds. You can do all sorts of stuff with it, introduce your own samples, etc. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. But the version 3 now ships with an EEPROM burner. So you can make it as long as you've got a burner, not with a burner, sorry, with emulation software. So that if you've got samples and you've got a burner, you can actually connect the two things together and you can burn your own ROMs for whatever drum machine or whatever you are using, which is a bit of a good thing, don't you think?
Definitely.
It's the detail I love.
Yeah.
Kent.
Yes.
Blood, stone.
Drum machine, innit? I love
the drum
this.
machine.
I love this.
Well, it's a drum machine, but it gives you software that allows you to burn your own EPROMs, and
Yeah.
it does all the calculation and the bit rate reduction. What's your feelings about that? Is that a good thing?
You see, in my world, that's classed as modding, and that's normally where pain starts. So I leave that to the customers. So I recommend it to them.
Yeah.
You know.
Would you? Do you have EPROM burners? Stupid question, really.
Yeah, I did have until it's almost impossible to get the EPROMs that I need. They don't do them anymore. They're all dead or just unavailable. So my EPROM burner sits in the workshop going like that, covered in dust.
Lonely, so lonely. I'm on my own.
Yeah, poor little girl. So,
Yeah. Well,
So-
I think the
Go on.
sound of a drum machine is the sound of what it does to the sample, right? Because I mean, obviously these early samplers, the sample-based drum machines as well, it was as much how that happened as what it was sampling, right? And that's what's become cherished as time's gone by. So if you can take your own sound and recreate that degradation to create something that would sound authentic, you know, that appeals.
Thing
to
is,
me
it's
for
not
sure.
just the EPROM burner bit of it is not just, that's not, that's just another thing which it does. The actual, the version 3, it adds a whole bunch of new features. So where are we? First dropped in 2014, accurate variable sample rate emulation of classic DACs. So this emulator, this VST, or any other emulator of your choice, and not a plugin. What else does it do? You can import any WAV file and sample it as you would in classic hardware. Resampling process uses an emulation of R2R ADC with adjustable input settings. That sounded almost like I knew what I was talking about. But sample rate of 27K. And you can play them back and have a listen. So
Yeah.
it does a lot of really, really good things. And I think Ali James, who was also, do you remember, we've reviewed his SDS and SDS-V drums and various others. He does some pretty good stuff.
He does.
And I've got to say, this thing sounds pretty amazing. It sounds pretty good. And version 3 is now out. Don't know how much it is. I'm just going to have a look. So £56 new, £20 with the upgrade discount. Or for anyone that's bought it, bought version 2 from December onwards, the upgrade is £10. Which is a pretty good deal, isn't it?
That's not bad, is it? It's not bad. You know?
So we've
Considering
also
the work
got
that would have gone into that.
we've got one other piece of hardware, but it's a bit of a long. I think we might leave that till next week, because the other thing which we do want to do is just return very briefly to
Bob.
Bob. Do you want to talk about it whilst I stop this thing?
It's your feature. Bob Moog Foundation.
It's not my thing. Yeah. Shut up.
It is now. It is now. Stop saying that.
Kent, tell us why people should buy tickets for the Bob
Matrix
Moog
12.
Foundation
Come on.
raffle.
Simply,
Make room for that.
the reason you should buy tickets is because if you go on eBay, type in Matrix 12, and then after you've changed your underpants, go and buy some tickets.
It's worth a punt, isn't it? It's got
Yeah.
to be.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, in that condition, even if it wasn't signed or anything like that, they can fetch, 10K in that condition? So,
Beautiful.
and let's face it, nothing else sounds like that. It's a unique little piece of kit. So
And what about
treat yourself to a couple of tickets and cross your fingers.
And what about the Bob Moog Foundation? Why is it important? And the work that Michelle and people like Marcus, who's on the board, what is it about the BMF, that's the Bob Moog Foundation, that's worth supporting?
Well, I mean, they're teaching children about synthesis. And they're keeping our heritage alive.
Yeah, that's the legacy.
It's all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's all that kind of stuff. I mean, this is why I did I did the mini, the Peter Gabriel mini for them.
Yes, which we filmed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I saw.
Yeah, and it was
in the flesh.
And we know that kids that get an education in music, synthesis, any of those, particularly synthesis, they open up all sorts of doors to future careers in all sorts of areas. Everything from, you can go on and be a musician or a recording artist, but you can also go on and be a rocket scientist or a forensic analyst or whatever. You can do all sorts of things because it opens the doors. Once you start getting into what synthesis is, it opens the doors to so many different things. And they're doing this, they're providing this for schools on the, all over the estates. And they were hoping and planning to try and spread this to further afield. But of course, the hurricane stopped all of that. And since then, they've not had the visitors. So it would be good to keep it running because they're trying to support youngsters and pass the legacy on. Look at how much we've all learnt from that. Well,
like Ken's saying in the chat, the where I said 10K, and that would be what this summer last year, and they're talking about between 11 and 16. It's a highly sought after keyboard.
Yeah. It is. It really is. So this is the Matrix 12 synthesizer. If someone could bung up the link into the chat again. You can buy tickets. They're $25 each, 5 for 100, 12 for 200, and 35 for 500. You can also add more gifting with it. So if you want, you can just buy one for 25 and top it up to 30. Why don't you? Because they need all the money they can get from this. Absolutely. And this is going to be finishing on Monday at 11:59 EST, which I believe is around about 5 in the morning here. In the UK, and 4 in the morning, 6 in the morning in Central Europe, and whatever it is in the US on the West Coast. I think it's about 9 o'clock in the evening. So you don't have much time. They will pay for all the shipping. They will also pay for any taxes you have to pay, although if you wish to and you want it, wouldn't it be nice if you took care of all of that and paid for that so that they have more money themselves? It's a really worthy thing. It's not just it's not just a charity. It's a foundation, and it's working to spread the word of what we do and spread Bob's legacy. So please do go and buy.
And please bear in mind that if you do buy tickets after Monday, it will just be considered a donation.
Yeah. And feel free to donate, by the way. They've got merchandise on their site. Go and do the merchandise. Go and you can donate, do whatever you like. But buying tickets gets you in with a chance to own this beastie. I've bought a couple.
Yeah.
So, do it. Do it.
Look what we've got. Oh, did we already discuss this?
We did discuss this. That's from the oil tanker, from the really long reverby thing.
Yeah.
If you find the video, there's a link to the impulse. So somebody said there was an impulse, but that's the link. So it's within the video.
That's very kind, very good of you to put it on there. I'm going to go and have a look at that.
So do that and go and grab that impulse. And there we go.
Fantastic.
Good work.
So we're getting close to the hour. I know we've got, there's other people. There's SOR going to be doing their thing.
I think they're already live, actually.
What are we all doing? Do you want to just run us out then, Jason? Do the whole...
Yeah, sure. So thank you very much for watching us this evening and seeing my first attempt at co-hosting this beast. Many of my foundings, so thank you for your patience here tonight. But if you don't already do so, remember to like this video. So let's give us a like right now if you haven't done already. If you're watching this after the event, give us a like as well. If you're not already subscribing, please subscribe. Ding that notification bell so you are notified of every time we go live, which is Fridays at 7 p.m. UK till 9 p.m. Follow us on social media, and there's links for that, isn't there? So I should be doing that. I got it so wrong at the beginning. but yeah, become a Patreon supporter as well. Buy us a coffee, and all the money goes back into the channel to make content for you. Thank you to all of you who do that already. We also have a store where you can buy merchandise, which is this here? Is that the one?
Yeah, go and buy. Look, merch.
Find us there. Buy merch. Any colour you like, as long as it's black.
Since I got this, I solved world peace.
Oh, it was you, was it?
It was me, yeah.
Hang on, where's the tumbleweed sound? Where is it? I saw it earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it, I missed that.
Go and buy it.
Robbie,
it helps keep the channel rolling.
It helps keep the channel alive. So, yes, that. And this weekend as well, don't forget to visit Synchrotron Andy tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for his drone bath. So start your day. My weekend's not the weekend without... and then there's Ramsey as well. That's Sunday, is that right? Or is that Saturday afternoon? I always miss Ramsey, so I was catching the tail end of it usually. Symptoms of Reality are streaming every day, so check those guys out as well. And then you've got Jamie Morden on Sunday afternoon, 6 p.m. And me jamming in my gym jams with both my cats at 10 p.m. in my gym jams. Yeah, ready for winding out. And then there's various wonderful things into the week.
So this was your first one.
Saturday afternoon, Ramsey.
Yeah.
So this was your first one, Jason. Thank you so much for doing this. Thank you so much. It's always great to have you on the show. I hope you're going to...
Thank you very much. Pleasure
to appear more often, perhaps.
That would be lovely. I won't be quite so like rabbit in the headlights over. There's a lot of stuff people wouldn't realise watching the show. Quite how much technology and stuff there is to keep your attention whilst you're delivering the information. It's whelming.
Robbie
overwhelming, but it's whelming.
Robbie is a genius at making it look completely simple.
Oh, he does.
Makes it look very
absolutely.
He makes it all look very
all hail
easy.
The Robster. Yeah, for sure.
So, talking of all hail, thank you, Jason, so much for doing this.
Pleasure.
And Ken, have you got any plans over the weekend, Ken?
Yeah, I have.
What are you doing?
Rugby and nothing, in that order.
Oh. Watching as opposed to playing.
Oh, God, I'll be watching laying down, yeah. And then after that, I will do nothing.
That sounds like a plan.
I might do some music. I don't know.
Oh, well, that would be good.
Yeah.
That would be good. And Jason, other than your show, have you got anything you're doing this weekend?
Tidying up. Mostly. Nothing crazy planned. Maybe a nice ride on the motorcycle tomorrow. If the weather's reasonable, test that.
All odds are pointing in that direction.
Yeah, well, that might be a
definitely
thing to do. I still haven't figured out how to do motorcycle and synthesizers together, though. But that is something that is definitely working its way around my head.
We'll get to that. So we've already gone over. Just so you know, I'm going to be rebuilding a computer that went wrong a couple of weeks ago, and just getting it all installed here because I've got a load of work I've got to get done next week. So I've got to get that rebuilt. It almost happened for this show, and I just thought, no, it will go bang. So I'll be doing that over the weekend. I wish you all, as do all of us, a fantastic weekend. We hope you have a brilliant time. And is it, Jason, that time, do you think?
I think it might be that time. Oh, there's a whole bunch of things I need to do. Ah! Thanks all. Be well. Be good to yourselves and each other, which is to say, just be nice. And I'll find, how do I do this?
Do you want me to do it?
No, I want to do it.
Okay, in which case, top right of the screen.
Right. It's end, but no, I need to do something. I've got, say goodbye. It says here, my show notes, say goodbye. It just says that. Click the end show button, then oh, okay. Bye.
Bye.
Do not click the detonator button.
What's the detonator button?
Bye, Kent.
Thanks, guys.
Bye,
Thank
Grandpa
you.
Walton.